great honor to talk about this not-for-profit and introduce them here. We're talking about Providence Mount St. Vincent. Give them a big round of applause. Don't come up just yet. They are our not-for-profit of the year, but you could very easily make the case that they are the not-for-profit of the century. Because like the Chamber, the Mount, as it's affectionately called, will soon be celebrating a 100-year anniversary in 2024, and I'd say an award like this is a great way to start those centennial facilities. Congratulations. And I wanted to make sure I pointed out, you may have driven by this rather mild-mannered looking facility on 35th Avenue, just up the hill from West Seattle Stadium, and maybe you haven't thought much about it, but there are some incredible things that are going on inside. I first walked in nearly 20 years ago when my now college-age kid was just a few months old and we needed childcare. And at first it didn't seem to make sense. It's a facility that helps older adults, about 500 of them last year, an average age of 94 years old. It's helping them with skilled nursing, assisted living, transitional care, and it cares for its residents for life. More than 60% of the older adults who need 24-hour care have outlived all their financial resources in the Mount. But thanks to some powerful charitable support, they will always have a home. But the Mount also has something called an intergenerational learning center. That's where I was involved with this. It's a child care facility for kids aged 6 weeks up to 5 years old. And when you see these kids interacting with the older residents of the Mount, I'm talking about painting, dancing, singing, or just being with them, I have to tell you, that is the truest and most authentic expression of what love and caring and togetherness really means. It's really something special. The Mount has meant a lot to my family, and they have helped generations of other families around West Seattle with the challenges of child care and elder care, especially during the incredibly difficult last couple years of the COVID pandemic. Also last year, the Mount established a state-certified program to train certified nursing assistants and paid these trainees, mostly from immigrant backgrounds, a working wage as they completed their training. The Mount also continued its work on a project called Bridges, helping high school-aged students with special needs learn vocational skills as well as independent living skills, and even help them apply for jobs upon completing the program. And finally, the Mount has stepped up for the past several years as the leading sponsor for Loop the Loop, which is the obstacle course 5K that I put on for Our Lady of Guadalupe to benefit the social outreach work there. And there's a photo I was trying to sneak into the PowerPoint, but I couldn't do it. But it's me and Sister Eileen Walsh, and this is back in 2019, and she was in a walker and was dealing with some very severe osteoporosis. It was bent nearly in half, but she took a lap around that senior saunter event that we did, and then was asking me at that point, hey, take me to the beer garden. So, she passed away in 2021. But I really do think that her spirit, her love of life, and her dedication to serve the community very much lives on with Providence Mount St. Vincent. And I wish she was here to see it, but I know she's up there smiling down on this somewhere, as I present with great honor the Westside Not-for-Profit of the Year Award to Providence Mount St. Vincent, its Executive Director, Charlene Boyd.
Thank you, Brian. We go way back. It's really nice. Thank you, all of you, for coming this morning and being part of this. So, wow, it's such a big honor for Providence Mount St. Vincent to get this not-for-profit award. Thanks to the Chamber and all of you here today as we're celebrating this amazing event, and all the recipients and all the people on the list that were part of the award. So all the nominees and the recipients were fortunate to live in a place where neighbors are helping neighbors, and we're very visible and deeply rooted in West Seattle. As an organization, we're very committed to community. I couldn't think of a better place to receiving an award right here in West Seattle. So I have to say that our founding sisters of Providence, back in the 18th century, and picked Mount St. Vincent area on this large campus in 1924 to serve older adults and take advantage of the views, take advantage of the mountains, take advantage of all these beautiful spaces. But they had another idea in mind as well, and that was to set their sights on something that was even more important. They decided to build a large-scale campus to care for the poor and the vulnerable adults, and a mission that we are so honored to continue today, and we're almost at our 100 years as well. So we've been doing this. Odds are that many of you have had some sort of connection with us. The VAST network is one of our favorite places at the Mount. From the residents, the families, the children, the child care center, our volunteers, our board members, and our amazing caregivers. These are relationships that span generations and create a living history passing through the importance of loving care, compassion, and respect for older adults. That's what this board is really about. The Mount is a convener of people who care. It's where your neighbors work. It's where maybe your grandmother lives. Maybe it's where your mother lives. Maybe it's where your neighbor works. Maybe it's where you volunteered. Maybe it's where you were a preschool, you had a child in a preschool. Maybe it's where your child volunteered and did a service project at the Mount. This is where, or you served on the board. It's truly a special place to be part of something much bigger. Something much bigger, to feel that sense of community and be known. So this vast network of community engagement was especially evident through this last few years of the pandemic. You showed up in big and very small ways with cards, letters, restaurant deliveries, flowers, handmade masks, face shields, countless volunteer hours, screening and testing stations, and during next year's wave, in the past year of the heat wave, you showed up with air conditioners, you showed up with fans in a very large concrete building. So just appreciate all of those services. Just a handful of examples that meant the world to us and just kept us going. While it's been a privilege to lead this community for many years, today we certainly have to dedicate this award to the heroes of the community, the West Seattle community, and our caregivers, our volunteers, and our board members. So thank you to the Chamber for recognizing us and for building the engagement of this community that will still be here for another 100 years with the Chamber. So thank you.